Okay, we are live again. Sorry for that, technical difficulties. This will be part two, I guess, of session 5.
Yes, as Hunray Sumelro very dexterously and stealthily completely fails in hiding his intentions from the Cyclops, staring from, I don't know, a few hundred paces away. Yes,
Okay.
I'm gonna murder you in an alley.
Okay. Well, the Cyclops does not appear, at least to you, to make any. It doesn't. Uh,
I personally believe it hasn't noticed me at all because a thing with only one eye has to have shit sight. I think.
a fair point. A fair point. But so you wait about maybe.
Well,
45
whilst we're waiting, I'd like to turn to like just one of the slaves that are like for sale, and just be like who's next to me? Like, is it like a Sarush or
There are like
just
pens
a Ferrum or something? I don't know.
and like cages nearby, like the dais upon which the slaves that are actively being sold are. So, you can get over to one within earshot, especially given your diminutive frame. Not many people are looking, especially in this crowd, which is a bit dangerous for you as you're trying to avoid being kicked or stepped on or jostled too much. But no one is really looking down, so you can you may
So
easily
you're used to sort of walking between like people like walk their legs and sort of like go between their legs and just sort of always like side moving as I'm walking through these streets trying not to be hit. I come across a slave, probably a defeated maybe demeanor or look upon their face, and I don't know what race it is. I guess go with a Ferrum.
There are Ferrum here. Yes,
yeah.
there are.
Hang on. Actually, no. I don't speak Ferrum, do I?
Speak Devulian?
No. No, I don't. Hang on. I'll find another ogre.
Okay.
And,
there are ogres as well.
Yeah, is still a big red ogre, and going up to him in Moorish, I'll say, "Hello, my name is Nay. Who are you?"
And the ogre looks around for a moment, it being so tall and you being so small. It takes a moment for it to look around and then look down at you. And you can tell it's the fires of rage that are the birthright of his people are almost completely extinguished within his eyes, and you see there are deep scars, a multitude of wounds, as if from a scourge or a lash, about the arms and the back of this ogre, who is wearing nothing but a loincloth and chains. Some of them fresh, but most of them look quite old, as if whatever rebellious spirit this ogre might once have had has been almost completely beaten out of him. What do you wish, little one? To gawk and spit like the rest? What
No.
price would you pay for me, I wonder?
I wish to set you free.
uh, he doesn't respond to that. He just chuckles in an almost sort of, you know, defeated way.
You've given up. You've given up hope. Do you not wish to be free?
Look around you, small creature. There is no hope in this place. Do you not smell the fear, the defeat? The chains are too strong. The lashes cut too deep. Even one such as I, after long enough, even we children of rage are susceptible. Even our flame may be snuffed out.
Only to be rekindled once more. So look around for whoever's sort of selling this ogre.
It's difficult to tell as there's there's a large bunch of these slaves that are tied up or chained up, but there is a Kalfar who is standing close by, not like close by to you, but closest to this area where all these slaves are being kept. Who is in the middle of haggling with someone, with a human.
Well, yeah, sort of in a feeling right now that I want nothing more than to set this defeated, helpless ogre free, but knowing that I have no money, no any means to procure it, and have no understanding of business or the people, this exchanging of currencies and whatnot. I understand that like that is a sort of a futile and maybe pointless action to take, but having sympathy for the ogre's condition, I go up to the Kalfar and I try to say, but like I'm guessing that they just sort of are ignoring me. But I'm sort of down there going like, you shouldn't strike your slaves so much, like, and they just sort of continue talking, just not even hearing me.
It's almost as if like given it's extra sort of. You can visualize it so more keenly, given your actual size of being a child size, and it's like a child sort of trying to converse with an adult as an adult is having an adult conversation, this business conversation. You shouldn't. You're trying to get a word in edgewise and make some sort of impact upon the lives of these dejected souls, and they're sort of like ignoring you.
But I remember the face.
Yeah.
Of the Kalfar, and I mosey on I'll move back on to where Hunrei and Dill are, sort of weaving in between the passage of the traffic of people, and I wait with Hunrei.
Okay. And the ogre sort of watches you as you remove yourself back to your companion until you're lost in the crowd. And Hunrei, you certain that you are are masterfully hiding from this, preventing your presence from being known to this clearly dull-witted creature with only one eye and no nose.
Mhm.
So clearly it must be, little more than an invalid, with such poor primary senses as sight and smell. You wait about 45 minutes or so longer, or you can. That is how long you wait if you're going to wait before this Cyclops turns and exits the circle market of the Lechner Row, and slowly shuffles in a weird sort of gait that's like less, it's not as smooth and fluid as some other species might be. It sort of walks ponderously, sort of leaning from one side to the other, and makes its way down a street on the far end of the market from where you entered. The street veers to the right, and you can see as you continue to follow this person, that the street, which is what's the word I'm looking for, is sided by buildings on either side, and you see, as was described to you, large pieces of fabric in different colors draped over the street, blocking out much of the sun's rays, and blanketing this area, this portion, this offshoot, in a very dim light, as if night had already fallen.
Yeah, I continue to follow this creature, now starting to pick up its actual scent, so I now know as well what a Cyclops smells like, or should smell like, which will aid me greatly in keeping track of it and hunting, since my eyesight is poor. But I keep sniffing the air and sniffing the trail left by it, consumed in my task to hunt and kill it and steal its secrets,
and it's
which I obviously can discern.
Yeah, yes. Its scent is, it's strange. It's not like any other species that you have smelled before. It does not have the the musky scent of your people, nor it doesn't smell mammalian. It doesn't smell dracoid. It doesn't even smell like the strange aquatic, bird, shark, siren people that you've seen in your time in Newport.
The blue people with feathers on their heads.
Yes. Something altogether different, but definitely something distinct. and a very unique smell that you would definitely be able to pick up again, having fully assimilated it. Um, but you continue to follow it as it lumbers down, and this area is far less, at least at the moment, less populated than the marketplace where the slave market you came from, and it um, moves into a structure adjacent to this building that is constructed of both stone and of wood. Its foundations are of stone, but sort of the upper portion of the building is seems to be made of large pieces of wood upon which have been draped large hides as a sort of makeshift roof. Well, not makeshift, but as a strangely constructed roof, which the scales on which this whatever this creature was from, it's almost as if looking at an oil stain. It's the colors sort of reflect in the dim light a sliver of the sun sort of running across one of the larger pieces of hide, as the building is situated in between two of the canvas banners, which are providing a roof to this street area.
Anything, any markings or such I would connect to occult or theological significance? Because carpentry-wise, mason-wise, street-wise, I have no clue if this is a very distinct building, an important building, if there is some form of office here. All that would go completely unnoticed by me. I don't understand those things properly, but if I can find occult markings or holy symbols, that I would notice.
Are you going to get sort of move up to it?
Well, yes. Did I see it enter this building?
Yes, you did.
I've drawn my sword and I'm walking towards it.
Okay, so as you do, you may roll an occult upon this building.
I will do so. Whoa, an 8.
There you go. Roll it again.
Right, now let's add that. 23.
Wow. Okay. So, you see there's nothing ostentatious or like, obviously emblazoned on the building that's marking it as that has any sort of occult significance, but you notice a piece of the overhanging fabric. There's like a canopy over the entryway to the door to this building. Is sort of frayed a little bit with age and with time, and you see a small carving along the top portion of the doorway of the entryway to this building, which would be imperceptible, but for your keen senses and perhaps the grace of the Shadow King, who might even be with you now, as maybe this cloak of darkness does him does him a service and pleases him as you go to destroy this servant of slavers. Sideways, it's an infinity symbol within a stylized octagon. A stylized octagon, and you're able to tell that while this is also a symbol of Nathraxu, which is of religious significance, it is also a symbol of the path of the oracle and of oracular mysteries and magics, of which the elder creator Nathraxu is the founder of. So it would appear as though Vasun's words continue to be correct.
Indeed they are. I do believe I have found the correct place. Is the building large, as it looks obvious that it would house an entire covenant besides this one person?
No, it doesn't look like it could fit like a coven of magi, you mean?
Like, does he have other wizardly or mystically or magically backup inside? Would I assume that the building is large enough to house several practitioners?
Oh, it's certainly large enough to house them. Vasun indicated that the building with the scintillating hide roof is one of Durzan's buildings. So you would probably surmise that this, at least on the surface, is a slaver's place of business. Whether there are more mages inside sort of hiding, or if all the slavers are mages, you're not sure. But it's a building that's a little bit larger and a little bit wider than Landul's place of business. It looks like it could comfortably fit like a working space. It could probably fit maybe a dozen people at a time comfortably. I mean, it could fit more, but I guess using our real world sensibilities, since Hunrei has no such things, it looks as though that's about how many would sort of work or be in here at full capacity. Maybe a bit more. 12 to 15 people.
Has the sun set yet?
No, but it is getting ready to. It's not quite dusk yet, but we're getting towards it's late afternoon, sort of on the precipice of twilight.
I look towards Nay on Dill's shoulder. Nay.
I think Adrian is away for.
No, I'm here.
Oh.
I was. Yeah, Hunrei?
Are you adept at moving unseen?
I am.
Moving and not witnessed by those taller and stronger than you.
The big people often miss me, scurrying about under their feet.
Then walk inside.
A big smile comes to my face.
Nod does say.
Then walk inside.
Well, what am I looking for?
Individuals inside. How many I will have to slay? I need numbers. before I charge into a den.
Okay. A little bit. Okay.
You may
Okay.
think about how you're going to approach as we you make ready to to do that, to make your assault upon this structure. But while that occurs, we're going to switch the scene back to Landul, and see how our fraying merchant has been whiling away the day, having recently set free a number of slaves.
Well, I was
You're meditating.
I meditated. I was planning to go out into the city, but if it's getting towards dusk, I probably won't. Or is this this is beforehand, before it's dusk, like?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, is it? So how long is it until dusk at the moment? For me.
Say again? I missed that.
How long is it until dusk?
Oh,
at the moment?
Yeah, it's several hours still. Once you awaken from your meditations, before dusk will occur. So there's time for a multitude of different things.
Excellent. Well, I'll travel back down to the general cargo area where everyone seems to hang out in the headquarters. Any of the slaves still here, apart from the two that I talked to? They're still here, I hope.
So, you see in the common room, not the cargo area, you see you see Jala and Poe there, both enjoying some of the fruits and other such, vegetation that is available. Also, one of the kitsunes is sort of sitting, almost meditating, as it appears, sitting down in contemplation, as you just were, in one of the windowed alcoves in the sunlight. If you continue into the cargo area, the ogre that was speaking to one of your fraying colleagues is here. He seems to be busying himself. He seems to be constructing something. You're not sure what, out of a sort of removed crate lid. He's shaping this piece of wood into something. You're not sure what.
Okay.
You don't see any sign of the Shion, of the cat individual, in either of those two rooms.
I see. Well, I'll walk into the common room. Good evening. I hope you've been finding your newfound freedom pleasant.
The three, the kitsune's rousing from her thoughts. None of them actually sort of open their mouths to respond. They sort of just nod, as if it's still quite that darkness, the shadow of that fate they've only recently been spared from is still sort of difficult to believe and to fully swallow. There's still a sobering presence you can see behind each of their eyes. That's preventing them from being perhaps as talkative and exuberant as you might have expected.
Yes. If you are interested, I understand if you still need more time to recover from your ordeals. I am about to travel into the city to look for some more information about these desert dwellers. If you want to come along, you're more than welcome to accompany me. Otherwise, I'll see you when I get back.
What language are you speaking, Thuban, to them?
Yeah, I guess they understand Pelgan. That's probably the other main one that they might know, Pelganese.
Is that what you're speaking to them in?
I'll speak to them in Thuban because that's what I spoke to them in before.
Oh,
but
okay. I mean, if you speak in Pelganese, you would surmise that at least the human woman would be able to understand that.
Well, if any of them looks like they're not understanding me in Thuban, do any of them look like they're not understanding me, or they don't really?
No. Each they seem to understand in Thuban, and as you speak, the Kitsune rises to her feet and addresses you and says, "Desert dwellers? What do you mean?"
I've heard tales in the city of a tribe of Freyin like myself who live in the desert. They are apparently very secluded and secretive. I was hoping to meet one of them if I could. I didn't catch your name, by the way.
I am Nyasha.
I see. Well, pleasure to meet you, Nyasha.
I have heard of these people, though I have not met them. I was, before my stay in the company of my recent, well, whatever you might call them, I was quite traveled. I know of your people. I had heard that there are some like you who make this inhospitable desert their home, but I have not seen any, but I know there are a small few who trade with them. They try to keep this unknown, you might say. And she obviously has Thuba is not her first language.
I see. This is most interesting. Perhaps it would be easier if I spoke in Pelganese or Desert Days. Cycle through both.
My... I do not know if you know Calixian.
No, I'm afraid not.
I do know the language of Pelagon, yes, as well, though it is not much better than my knowledge of Thuban.
That is a shame. But I'm sure we'll be able to.
But I understand you well enough.
Yes. I don't suppose either of you or sort of look at the other to understand this language.
And they indicate that they both understand Thuban as well.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to make do with this language. You say that you have heard of merchants who trade with these desert tribe, but it is a secret matter.
Well, I only know that they are how do you say it's they are not trustful of outsiders, and I understand there is some their beliefs do not keep them to be further avoiding of this place. I do not know why, though. It is only what I heard when I first came to this place many cycles ago. A friend, a comrade of mine, she lived here at the time. I do not know if she still does or not, but she had told me some things of this part of the world that was new to me.
This is interesting. Do you happen to remember or know where this person might be? Are they still, do you think, in the city? Or
I do not know. It has been over a cycle since I have been free.
I see. Well, you're free now.
Yes.
Hopefully, perhaps we will find your friend and perhaps learn more. But if not, as I said, I'm going to venture into the city in search of more information if I can find any, even though it seems quite scarce. Perhaps some supplies as well for a small voyage into the desert to see if perhaps we can find these people. But as you can probably tell, I am no desert tracker. I think it will be a futile activity, but we have to try, I suppose.
I cannot stay with you, though I thank you immensely for my freedom and for what you have given me. I will give you the name of my friend, and you may endeavor to search for her. She is a human,
I see.
like you, gesturing to the other human female here, though skin and hair is different. The skin is far lighter than yours, and hair of dark brown. But she was a merchant at that time, and was a follower of the, and no doubt still is, a follower of the merchant god of Ostay,
Oh, yes.
of which I understand there is a temple here in this place. I wish you success on what you are.
Do you know her name, your
Yes,
friend?
yes. And as she looks around as if for a piece of paper and finding none, sort of just says, her name is Michal Aron.
Charles Aran.
Aron, yes.
Aran. Okay. Well, I thank you for this information. Hopefully, something will come of it. And as I have said before, you're free. So I hope that your journeys from now on are less troubled than what they seem to have been before.
Yes. I will endeavor to leave this place.
Perhaps a wise decision. Well then, would either of you going to join me in the city? Ho?
Yeah. If you are going to find more about these desert merchants, yes? Who
That's
might
what
have my brother. Will we go to where you said you haven't seen my sister in many days? Where in the city is she?
I'm afraid I do not know. The last I saw her was near the market. She was, as I said, running away from the guard in the company of a large alligator man, who was none too pleasant. So I'm afraid I wouldn't hold too high hopes for her well-being, but you never know. She seemed quite light on her feet. I can perhaps take you to where
Poe visibly swallows and clearly attempts to hold back a surge of emotion.
Don't worry, I'm sure she's fine. I say that not very confident sounding. I can, if you would like, I could take you to where I last saw her, but I do not think you will find anything of help. It was several chains ago now.
Oh, I see. Well, maybe if you have found where you have found me, and I know where. Well, I have some idea of where my brother is being taken. Maybe she's found the same. That
Yes,
has to be why
perhaps.
she's come. Her and Dill. If they weren't taken by the slavers. That's
Yes.
what they have to be here for.
I think she said that she was looking for her family when I spoke to her.
Yes. Yes, of course that has to be the reason. Yes. Well then we should continue to find these desert merchants. They must be doing the same. No doubt, surely our paths will cross and we'll be reunited.
Yes, that's the spirit.
Yes.
Well then,
grins, exuberantly, as if renewed hope to his companion, his friend Jala. We should go
I
now.
assume,
Then.
yes. Let us be aware. I assume as well. This is up to you. I think Jala would be wearing one of the uniforms provided by the company. Like, it's not very much. It's just basic pants and clothes, but just with the little symbol on it as well that shows that she's.
Yes.
They wouldn't have any
You may
sprite
find
size.
clothes. Yeah, you can find replacement clothes for
Yeah.
Jala, who accepts them graciously.
And
Alas,
maybe
you are correct. There are no sprite-sized
perhaps
clothes. However,
he could just get you some cloth or something if he just not so he's not in slaver rags anymore.
well,
unless he wants to be.
With him, he's not. He doesn't have slaver rags. He has probably what he was captured in, as slavers don't usually have sprite-sized, rags. So he seems fine.
If he wanted to get some cloth or something to make himself like a robe or something simple like that, he's more than welcome to. So he wouldn't need very much, I imagine.
Okay. See, thank you. This will make a fine blanket. Thank you. Although the nights are cold here.
Yes. I'll see that there is a proper accommodation for both of you when we return.
Thank you. This is wonderful.
Well, very well then.
I told you not to give up hope, Jala. I knew something would happen. See, our fortunes changed.
Yes, never give up hope.
Yes.
Anyway, let us go. And with that, we set off into the city. I guess towards this the temple of the trade guard would be good a spot as any to investigate.
To where? Sorry.
The temple of the trade god.
Oh, okay, yes, yeah. The Temple of Oste is.
Oste, yes.
Is one of the more difficult to miss areas, as towards the more towards the center of the city. One of the larger. There are several markets, but one of the larger ones, sort of, created, almost seems organically grown, from this temple, this building, which is not. It is an open roofed sort of structure, round, that is constructed of stone and of a little bit of wood. It more than a building or a typical temple one might think of, a cathedral or something. It almost more likely resembles a large sort of gazebo.
Nice.
That is sort of airy and open, and the interior is flat and mainly sparse, and there are stalls, there are alcoves along the interior circle of the structure, where stalls and merchants and traders and the like. Far more opulent in here than some along the outskirts of the market that's extended out from this place. But ply their trade in here as if, you know, it's sort of like a holy marketplace rather than a place with pews and altars and stained glass and the like. And there are individuals in brown garmentry that have medallions of copper about them, either about their waist or about their necks, that are sort of seeing to the goings-on of business and of trade, and making sure that everything is sort of running smoothly in this place. Ordered chaos in here.
Yeah. Well, as we enter this space, this big open marketplace, temple-y sort of area, I sort of, as I'm striding in with the human and the sprite behind me, or beside me, I sort of smile a bit to myself. Just like all the trade going on here. This is like, I feel a lot more like at home already with all this trade bustling about. This is my sort of, even though I'm not a worshipper of Osse, like I still respect him. Obviously, I would say I'm maybe like a part-time, like, I occasionally offer him a prayer as well. Right. So I quite like this place. And as we enter, I'll start looking around. Like, I'm not really very hopeful because this is like sort of a 1 in a million chance, but I'll keep my eyes open for a human woman with brown hair and light skin. Off chance that I see someone like that, I think.
Perception check.
Right. As I said, I'm not really. She's probably not here, but
keep slipping into the wrong terminology.
My perception. It's 12.
Okay, you don't see anyone who matches that description, but you see, you don't see anyone of that description, but you are able to get a good view and a good sort of appraisal of the different merchants that are in here, and there are about that you can see right away about half a dozen individuals who are obviously marked as followers, members of this temple, but there are 13 stalls set up on the interior of this in this place, different merchants.
What sort of things are the stalls selling? I assume they're not selling probably not selling like big like reams of like cloth and stuff, or are they? I don't know.
No, there are people who are selling. In here, you don't see anyone selling a lot of like raw goods, like bolts of cloth or like ore or something. But you see, again, it's a bit more opulent. There is someone who is clearly a tailor who is here. There is a stall that has several pieces of various artistry and carvings and paintings and the like are here. There is a jeweler, like a goldsmith and a whitesmith, dealing in various pieces of finery. There is a blacksmith here as well. There are some weapons, but there's also obviously, even to, well, looks very, very nice quality tools and implements of a non-combative nature that you would still need a blacksmith for. Is there anything in particular you're looking to see if they?
No, I was just sort of wondering what was available. The painter, he catches my eye a bit. I'll go up. I'd like to walk up to his stall or her stall.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Lovely afternoon. I assume there's a guy there. These are wonderful paintings you have here.
Ah, thank you. And it is a male Kalfar who has this establishment here, and then sort of turns to see you. There, he's sort of looking in one direction, and sort of you can detect sort of stops for a second, and then continues on with his sort of mercantile speak to you, as if only missing a beat at the presence of a Freyine. He must be good at his job.
Yes.
Did
you?
Fine. Sorry.
Did you paint these yourself?
Many I did, but not all. I am also a seller and a purveyor. In addition to an artist of no small skill, if I do say so myself.
Indeed. All of these paintings are obviously from quite skilled painters. Someone so skilled, of course, must have a very good eye for detail.
Of course. I pride myself on my distinguishing qualities, my discerning eye when it comes to such things. And you see a lot of the paintings here are of landscapes. Not like there aren't many portraits like figures, in pose or something. A lot of landscapes.
Well, I don't suppose I'm looking for someone who travels to this temple quite frequently, I'm told. A blonde, brown-haired, pale-skinned human female goes by the name of Michal Aron. I don't suppose you've noticed her with your keen artist's eye in this temple?
Why don't you give me a You're not really diplomatizing or doing anything. You're not really wheeling and dealing the person, so never mind that. Sorry. I have not. I'm not familiar with that name, but I am only recently permitted to do business here. It is quite an honor to receive such a lucrative position in the marketplace. Highly
indeed.
coveted. These portions are, as you might expect.
Yes.
But
well,
yes, if
if
I would direct your questions to one of the clerics or one of the devotees, the acolytes of this place. They would know far better than I. Are you here to purchase one of my paintings?
no, I'm afraid not today.
Ah.
I'm not in the.
Well, then I'm sorry. I cannot assist you further. Good day.
Fair enough.
And he turns to someone else who looks far more eager to actually spend coin.
Very well. Well, in that case, the next person I would like to talk to in the temple area is the tailor.
Okay.
Who? What kind of person is the tailor?
This person is a you're fairly well traveled. I think you you definitely are aware of the existence of satyrs. And this is a satyr man who is bedecked in just as much finery, clothes you don't typically see on a satyr. But there is some saying out there. It's escaping me at the moment to be your own sort of put your own things forward or something like that. He is wearing the same fine-looking clothes that he is selling.
Yes.
Of course, tailored for him. And he's wearing not pants, but some sort of like almost ostentatious, but not quite kilt of differently patterned fabrics, cross-stitched and woven together, making intricate patterns in geometric shapes upon his person.
That's fascinating. I assume I can do a roll if you want. His wares are of the highest quality.
Do you have any grades in tailor or
Yeah.
or weaver? In weaver,
Yeah, Weaver. Yeah, I do indeed.
sure,
Alright.
they do so to determine their quality.
What's the other number?
Ha 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 ha.
So that's an 8. 13.
These are still, you can tell they're very, very good quality, but any specific details like you're not sure, but it's good stuff, very good stuff.
Is it made on? I assume this would probably I would notice it if it was shorter. Is it made out of fraying cloth or is it something else high quality but not? Or is it? Or do I not know?
You do see a few items of fraying cloth, but that's not the majority of his wares.
Alright. Well, good evening, sir.
Good
Lovely
evening.
afternoon.
Oh yes, good afternoon. Time flies so quickly when doing brisk and good business.
Indeed. So
Pleasure,
business has
my friend. But can I interest you?
I'm afraid I'm not here to buy. However, I do represent.
Oh, surely you must uh, be.
Well,
You must be here for a new turban. That thing is atrocious. You must try
uh,
some more effective head covering. Something more to you,
yes.
like
Well,
how one of
what,
these hats that I have gathered. I wish I had a prop, but I don't. Um,
what are these hats? What do they look like?
um,
I may buy one if it's awesome.
yeah, I mean, there are a couple of different types of hats. Most of them, in fact, no, all of them are sort of covered in a various type of silk. Um, uh, they all have sort of wide brims. One of them is sort of a three-cornered, but not like in a three-cornered hat that we might envision on Earth. Rather, this hat seems designed so that uh, the the side with two points of the triangle face forward, and the one point of the triangle facing back. From which a sort of upward swept hat brim comes, and sort of not a veil, but fabric descends downward to keep out the sun. Another type is a sort of tall and slightly tapered out like this, four-cornered hat, which has sort of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like rope, almost, not real rope, but
One of those
fabric,
things
sort
on like a
of rope.
scholar hat thing.
Yeah, sort of knotted in an intricate design along the top. And there is another one that is more of like a sort of like floppy hat that is meant to be worn to the side, which has a pattern, an intricate sort of swirling pattern um, etched into it.
I quite like the look of this one, or just the first one that you said with the veil that comes over your face.
Excellent. Yes.
Yes. How much is this?
What's your opulence rating?
It's 5.
5. Okay. Well, I mean, you that surely I could tell, and you're wearing like your fancy schmancy clothes, right? That's
Yes.
you explained in the beginning your mercantile wear. Well, for one such as you, it is certainly within your purview, and you may purchase one of these. For certain, with five grades of opulence. Yes, most definitely. And that won't even cost you an opulence point at that high. For one hat, you can definitely get it. And
I wonder perhaps if I'll say this while I'm sort of looking like through my pouch, my gold pouch to money. Have you? I'm looking for a friend of mine. Apparently, she frequents this temple. She's a human female, brown hair, light skin, goes by the name of Michelle Aron. I don't suppose you've seen her around these parts.
so given your skill of this is sort of you're in your element here at long last, making conversation and gaining information all as part of the exchange of goods and of trade.
Hey.
Ah, yes, I know her. Uh, she is she is a merchant here in the market.
Ah, really? Does she have a store?
She does, but not, alas for her, not within the structure itself of the temple, but quite close, still a respectable position. Yes.
I see.
Uh,
Could you
she
point me in her direction?
Yes, she has a uh, yellow-covered stall. Down this way, if you go right the way along past the there's a food cart there selling some sort of meats on sticks. But if you move veer to your right, in between the two burgundy colored stalls, both of which are selling uh, uh, poorly imitated baubles. Don't take any pay them any mind. But you will find her there. She is a fair dealer and a quite charming woman, if I do say so myself. We have been friends for some time.
Yes. Excellent. I should mention as well before I go, who could be in the market, I am a merchant for a rather large Freying trading company who have quite a lot of cloths, which you may or may not be interested in.
Really? What is the
Indeed,
name of your company?
the
I
Freya,
may have heard it. If you do you specialize in textiles and weavings?
yes, that is one of our main commodities. We do have others, of course. We're only new to this city, though, which is perhaps why you haven't heard of us. If you're interested in buying some of our, or at least examining some of our wares, feel free to come visit me down at our trade house. Us the Landul, that's me.
Ah, delightful. Well,
Yes.
I may do so.
Excellent.
Although not at the moment, as there's still much work to be done for the
Yes, of
for
course.
today. But I will. Yes, I will look you up. I believe I shall. I'm always good to find new opportunities in this wonderful place of trade.
Yes, yes, indeed.
And a pleasure doing this
Yes.
with you.
The pleasure is.
A bit. He adjust the hat on your head. Perfect, perfect.
Thank you.
Color suits you. Immaculate.
Excellent. Well, good day. And with that, I'll leave him in the direction he pointed me to, looking for this stall. Yes, I assume I find it without much
sure enough.
difficulty.
And through all of this, I sort of Poe is completely wide-eyed and sort of amazed at the almost sort of like overcoming whatever unpleasantness he has recently been freed from, and the drive of which he's questing upon, the volume, the colors, the sights, the smells, the fresh air, the sunlight, the strange exotic quality of this place is you can see. Thankfully, Jala seems a bit more worldly wise, and sort of keeping more of an eye on him as sort of doing your information gathering. But you could see sort of huge stars sort of in his eyes, you know, eyes getting almost as big as the rest of his admittedly small comparatively head. But yeah. And
So I guess I'm making my way towards her stall. I don't know if you want to cut the other guys or keep going. I don't mind.
Why don't we'll have this conversation and then we'll switch back. So you find this stall as was explained to you. And sure enough, there's two individuals there. One of them is a Ferrum. The other one is a human male, hawking. What's clearly
So that's anyone that looks like Michelle was described to me working at this stall.
Yeah. So it's like it's not a large stall. Like maybe 2, maybe 3 people could work it. It's big enough for that. But at the moment, at least, there is only one person, a human woman about 5'6", with sort of very dark brown hair and quite pale skin. Her hair is sort of pulled back into a long braid, which she has sort of slung over her or hanging over her shoulder. And she is selling. It looks to be. You're not sure what it is. It looks like carvings, sort of artistic carvings upon bone, some sort of scrimshaw art.
I see. Well, I'll go up to her stall. Is there other people she's serving people, or is there am I the only one there?
No, she isn't attending to any customer at the moment. There's a pretty brisk sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Flow of people walking past, but none at the moment seem to be interested in what she's got. Although she doesn't seem dejected, as though she's not had anyone for like a long time visit her store.
Yeah. I'll cut me out. Michelle? Are you Michelle?
I am.
My name is
Do I know you?
No, we haven't met. However, I have met one of your acquaintances, Nyasha. I was speaking to her recently today. She was a slave until this morning.
And she's sort of gasps at that. A slave? I had wondered what had happened to her. I have not spoken to her in almost 2 cycles. How horrible!
Yes.
What has happened to her?
I'm afraid I don't know the details. However, she pointed me in your direction. I was looking for information on the Freyin merchants who live outside the city, the reclusive clan. She said that apparently you had told her some stories about them, which I found most interesting.
I only tried to help a good friend of mine who was new in the city. But you've spoken with her. Have you purchased her? How?
No, I'm afraid my company acquired her through a slight miscommunication in a deal, and of course, the Freya Zigzali Mazda, that is my company, does not condone slavery, and so she was set free.
Oh.
Rather fortunate.
So her face, she's her face is initially one of suspicion and aggression that my company acquired this person. But hearing that you have set her free, she brightens at that. Yes, well, these desert dwellers. There are something of a talking point to those to Newport. There are a number of communities that supposedly make their habitation out in the desolation of the Desert of Ash, and one of them being supposedly a community, some say even a kingdom of desert dwelling. Well, your people. Yes. I have not seen them. Apparently, they are notoriously mistrustful of people not in their community, and there's. I understand they are followers of Phoenix, and given the this leans in the large. Not that I have had any ill dealings with these people, but many, as there are such a large presence of sirens in this city, and their tendency for the worship of Fatash. I am no theologian or priestess, but I do understand that Lady of Flame and of Deserts does not tend to get along well with the Mistress of the Thunderbirds and of the Storm Clouds.
Yes, quite understandable.
Although I would not know it would cause such aloofness from an entire community of people, but Kvegathale is a large place, and there are many different people with many different idiosyncrasies, I suppose.
Well, one thing that Nyasha mentioned, which caught my ear, was that you mentioned merchants who trade with these Freyne in secret. I don't know if you still remember or know anything.
I wouldn't call it a secret. I don't know. I don't know secret knowledge, but I know there are only a very small number of people with which whatever traders they have trust enough to treat with. There are many larger merchants and merchant companies who have tried to reach out, but
do you know any of these merchants that they will trade with? Do you know of any of them? Perhaps I can speak with one of them.
Well, why don't you give me a diplomacy check?
Please be good. 5 and is that 4? Still loading. I think it's 4.
Yes.
5, 4, 6, 9. Oh, I haven't got any point. Is she human? Because I do have a forte in human diplomacy.
Ooh, well, how about that? You may add that. You may use that forte.
Okay. I think it's 18.
Okay.
I think do you get 2 for a forte, or is it?
It depends on how many grades you have. If you have
1, or is it
Then it'd be
so
your forte would give
plus
you
1? Okay, well then it's 1 less, so it's 16.
7.
Is
16?
it, did I say 17 before?
I
Yeah,
think.
I'll count it again.
I don't know.
Uh,
Either way.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know her well, but I'm aware of a woman who is said to have recently developed some meager dealings. I understand she's uh, sort of a merchant for some of the glass blowers in the city, uh, trading in pottery and glassware. Um, I
Mhm.
understand these Freyne are quite skilled in such things as ceramics and uh, the workings of glass into artistic and practical shapes. Um, but yes, her name is Kizdeen.
Christine. Uh, excellent. Well, do you know where I might find her? Or where her stall or shop is located?
Um,
Or just maybe somewhere I can ask and perhaps find her?
I am not sure where she actually. Uh, I don't believe she sets up shop per se. She ventures out into the other areas to sell her goods. But I understand she has a brace of gloaming worms in her employ,
Oh.
and in her employ. How silly! How can you employ an animal? But she brings, I guess, she uses 2 gloaming worms to carry about her goods to and from the city. Um, so I would. There is in the outskirts along the
I'm not
southeastern. Say it
I'm
again.
not familiar with what a gloaming worm is.
Oh, they're um, a fascinating creature. They are long, well, worms, as you might say. Look like long, uh, silkworms almost of a lavender hue. But what's extraordinary about them is that they can exude a sort of uh, they can their bodies light up as if they were if tiny stars were embedded within their flesh. Um,
They sound fascinating.
as of course there are no stars in this world. Uh, Forgive me for such
There's one
silliness.
star.
There's only one. Um, but no doubt you catch my meaning. It is
Indeed.
as if there are many morning stars within
Are they large
the
or small?
creatures.
Yes.
Now they are quite large enough to be used as um, pack creatures. Oh yes, they're quite long indeed. They are the largest. When full grown, they can reach a size of almost 30 feet.
I see. Uh, I would quite like to see one now. They sound fascinating. Uh, anyway, I thank you for your information. Just before I go, what are these? I'll gesture to her like what she sells, her bone carving things.
Hmm?
What are these? The bone carvings that she
Oh, they
sells.
are they are artistry of my own making. Scrimshaw carvings.
Do they bring bring good luck, perhaps, or
I should like to think so.
Do they have prices on them, like on display, like 2 copper for this
This
one?
they don't have like price tags on them per se, but yes, they are all for sale. What I'm
I'd like to pick up like 3 of the small, like the cheapest looking ones. I find like just small things that would be really easy to carry.
okay.
I'll take these if you don't mind. I'll give you some. How much for these?
Oh, these are a I there you can a handful of of copper pieces. These are easily acquired. Although I hope you will return. Um, uh, there are other works of mine of which I am far prouder, and clearly your appearance and your garmentry and the eloquence of your speech indicates you as a man of distinction and of opulence, and would far rather have one of these on his person
Uh,
or within
yes,
his.
I'm afraid I can't. I only want something small at the moment, easy to carry. But I'm sure I will be back. If I intend to stay in this city a while, and this is one of the better markets that I've seen by far. So I imagine I will return.
Well, yes.
Yes. Thank you for the information. I'll give her the money and take the things.
Okay.
And then I guess just as me and my companions are walking away, she wants to say something. I'll just want to hand like one of the like the tokens that I bought to each of like one to Poe and one to Jarl. I said maybe this will prevent you from falling under such bad circumstances again.
Okay, like a talisman of sorts.
Yeah.
Okay.
A good luck charm.
You may do so. And they take it. They take them. So with that, I think we're going to wrap it up. So if you guys would like to give a soliloquy
Do you
explaining.
want to start it, Tom?
Well, I don't mind not doing one. I haven't. Like I'm still walking. I could do one at the start of the next session, maybe when I'm back at the
Okay.
headquarters. That's sort of more.
Are you going back to headquarters again?
Yeah, I imagine it's pretty close to dusk now.
Yes.
So, yes.
Okay.
I can do one now if you want, but
no one is compelled to. We can start next time with one, but would Nay like to provide a soliloquy?
Yeah, I'll give a soliloquy.
As you are on the threshold
take each step closer towards this building where we followed the Cyclops to. As each step nears me closer, my heart flutters an increased beat. My worry is sort of panic. Not panic, caution and worry is sort of like adrenaline begins to build. And so as I tip forward, and the sounds around me, like the sounds of the distant streets and some of the closer ones, as I start thinking about the old way I used to play hide and seek in the forest of home. We listen to the sounds, the changing of the environment. As I tiptoe close to this door, and I think of that name that began earlier Dazan. And I've come across this name here, involved with slavers. This cannot be a coincidence. It must be the same Dazan. And this Cyclops who we followed, the glowing eye, Noonrock. If he is a servant of Durzan, then he will meet an evil fate. I hope, as I go sneak to walk in to this door, that I find nothing but Noonrock and an empty room. And then all I have to do is walk out and unleash the beast that is Hunrei. And I'm gonna end it there.
Yes, I just patiently, or impatiently rather, see Nate disappear there into the building.
Yes, I will have your secrets, you base, disgusting beast. Your chronomancy will be mine, and if it will not be mine, I will trade it for something else. Another Elder Kaedos language, mayhaps. Other spells. Whatever it is, I will have it. Oh, nay. You do not see it. But soon, Shadow King will enlighten you further, or you will be dead.
Okay. Well, with that, I believe that will bring part 2 of session 5 to a close. So thank you everyone for watching, despite the technical difficulties, and we'll see you next time.
Awesome.